Well, hey there, YouTubes. So, the other day on Facebook, Bionic Dance had posted 11 questions lesbians are tired of answering. And one of them got me thinking. It was, who's the guy in the relationship? The thing is that when that question is asked respectfully, it's not, oh, well, who's got the dick, da-da-da-da-da. That's simply people trying to understand things a little bit better. Because to a heterosexual, understanding the breakdowns of a relationship might be a little bit challenging, because in the gay world, the concept of gender per se gets blurred. I mean, in a heterosexual world, if you go by more traditional, and I use that word very loosely, standards, the guy opens the doors and offers the hand and offers the jacket on the cold day, and the girl cooks dinner and the guy pays for dinner, they're going out, and all those little nuances of what a gentleman is and what a gentlewoman is. But in the gay world, that gets kind of blurred. So, I mean, just speaking from my own current relationship, like, my sweetheart and I, we have a different breakdown than other people. I do a lot of cooking, but that's because I'm a good cook. Because I've worked several culinary jobs when I was in college and just out of college. And I generally pay for things when we go out, but that's also because my sweetheart is a grad student and her sources of income are very limited. But she's the one who offers the hand, opens doors, offers her jacket on a cold day. She's also the one who cuddles me more than I cuddle her. And she's definitely very strong and very protective of me, which I really find as a turn on. And I really like it just because I feel safer, and it's nice to be with somebody who's strong enough to protect me, because my sweetheart is about my height, a little bit stronger built than I am. Just kind of attractive considering who I've been with. And I'll fully admit, like, I do tend to wear my kilt a little bit more around her, tend to be a little bit more girly because she just brings out that side of me. And I wouldn't per se call her the guy in the relationship. I mean, we're both girls. But there's attributes traditionally associated with a gentleman, and there's attributes generally associated with a gentlewoman that kind of get blurred around. I mean, she'll be the first one to tell you that you scratch her behind the ears and she'll melt in my arms. Just one of those little nuances of a relationship. And so, I mean, when somebody asks who's the guy in the relationship, they're just trying to understand the breakdown of your relationship a little bit better. Simple enough. I mean, as long as it's asked with respect. Another question that I utterly love, and I seriously do love to answer it, is the dildo question. So, the person says, well, wait a minute. If lesbians don't like guy penis, then why do you guys like dildos? Which, number one, not all lesbians like dildos, but number two, okay, let's make this person think a little bit. We have your long-term sweetheart who you love and have a long-term committed partnership with. You very much care about them, they very much care about you. You guys have balance in your relationship. You're very committed, you love this person. Or some dude who is equally skilled at giving blowjobs. Who would you, if you were blindfolded and you couldn't tell who was giving you a blowjob, who would you rather get the blowjob from? Obviously your long-term partner. So it's not per se about the device itself. It's about the person behind the device. Simple enough. And I was reading probably the other day on just like one of the many God hates fags, AIDS, whatnot. And it's funny when they bring that up, because no, you're not saying that your deity, if you're saying that AIDS is a plague upon the gays, or AIDS is a plague upon the sexually immoral, and that you shouldn't be gay because of AIDS, actually you're saying you shouldn't engage in sexual relations with a dick because of AIDS, with a penis, with an individual who projectily orgasms because of AIDS. So, going from that premise, you should not be with somebody who projectily orgasms because of AIDS, that means, okay, you know what? Gay men are in the highest risk category for AIDS. But there's also a big educational push in the gay community. There was back in the late 1980s, early 1990s, and there's starting to be one forming again just because of, let's face it, the AIDS pandemic is coming back around. Because we do have a lot of good medications and people are not as afraid of it. I mean, I talk to people of the late baby boomers, early generation Xers, who are seeing their friends drop like flies because of AIDS, whereas my generation, millennials and Gen Y, and the current generation don't have to worry about AIDS because there's medications. Now, yes, it's definitely a concern, and always use condoms, always get treated, always get tested, but because we have medications and even Magic Johnson's still alive, people are not as afraid. Anyway, coming back to dick causes AIDS. If somebody's using... You shouldn't be in a gay-male relationship because of AIDS. Well, no, that means... Okay, so what do gay men have? They have penises. And if you look at third world countries where gays are basically murdered, what is there still? Penises. And what group is in the lowest risk category for catching AIDS through sexuality? Lesbians. So basically, when somebody tries to bring up, oh, gays cause AIDS, no, you're saying that dick spreads AIDS. And therefore, why would any woman want to be with a dick? Because they could get AIDS. Just saying. And I don't really mean to make light of the situation, because ultimately HIV is a disease that needs to be recontained. One thing about the late 1980s, early 1990s, as to why the AIDS rate dropped so dramatically was because people got educated, and they started using condoms more, and they started getting tested regularly. We don't have a cure for AIDS per se. We don't have a widely available cure. The cures that they have so far are they've only been used on a very limited population, if that. And if we were to find one in the near future that was even marketable, it would be very, very expensive. A lot of insurance plans might not even cover it. So, as with so many other things, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Getting tested regularly if you think you've been exposed. Getting tested regularly if you have numerous partners and are engaging in either heterosexual sexual activity or in gay male sexual activity. And even as lesbians, getting tested now and then is a really good idea, you know, just to double check, because you don't know. I mean, there might have been a cut in the vaginal wall, you might have had a cut on your finger, and furthermore, taking those safety precautions, using condoms, washing your hands, washing your genitals, and just being aware. So, that's just my being gay on a nice spring day video. Peace out, YouTubes.